Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? How is everyone doing? So I'm just checking that I'm in the right Facebook group. Yep, that's all feeding, so that's fine. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you're all good. So today I am going to basically just log in as a Strategy Hub client, and I'm going to give you a tour of what it actually is, how it looks, how it feels, the environment that you'll be in. Because one of the things that I know a lot of people are pondering, they're like on the fence of the Strategy Hub, and the reason they are is because of the experiences they've had previously, and they're worried about investing the money and not getting what's been promised, or not having access to us, or not being able to get what it is they actually need, which is the implementation, the support, the guidance, and the individual help. So what I wanted to do really is just show you it, because for me, we've got absolutely nothing to hide. I want you to see it. I want you to see, because when you see it, you'll see that actually it is the real deal, and it's exactly what I say it is. So give me 2 seconds, because what I'm going to do is share my screen. So I just need to log in through our system as a client. So give me 2 seconds to do that. What will happen is when you are a client, you will get what's called a portal link. And the portal link is the link that will basically take you to our excuse me, my voice is not being kind to me today. I think it knows that the challenge is finished and that my talking is coming to an end. So what basically the portal link does is gives you the access to all the things that you've got access to. So you'll click on it and then you will end up in the membership area. So let me just go to here and get the link, login link, login. Okay. Let me share this screen. So just in the comments for me, just let me know while I'm doing this. 1, can you see my screen now? And 2, what's the number 1 thing you want to see this morning to answer any questions you've got, so that I can go to the right place and show you what is there, because that'll be really, really helpful for me as well. Just in the comments, just let me know if you can see my shared screen. And also, if you've got any specific things, obviously on those of you that are on Facebook, I can see there's a big chunk of you on Facebook as well watching this, which is fine. If you've got any specific questions, put them in the comments on Facebook and I will come back to them. I can only see the comments on Zoom on my phone though. So, okay, let me get rid of WhatsApp, because that's just going to ping all the way through. So that's no use to anyone. Here we go. Okay, so while I'm waiting for those sort of things to come through of what you actually want to see, if there's anything specific you want to see, then just ask me. This is the central page. So when you get into the actual members area, so there's 2 key parts to it. I explained this last night. Those of you who didn't see it though, there's the members area and there is the Facebook community, and there will be an app in Q2 as well. We're building the app right now. The Facebook community is the day-to-day conversational piece, the community piece. Then we've got this like learning vault that's got absolutely everything in it that you need, and it's where we add all the new and additional content as we basically add to it. So I'm always doing new content, new trainings, new things that I put together. I will do like demos of things that I've learned about, or I'll come on and say, oh, I've been doing this week and this has worked and this hasn't worked, and I'll record it and I'll add it into here as a resource. So what happens is you land on this like central page, and in it, the first page has got some instructions of just clear things for you to follow. Again, so what we want to do is make it crystal clear of what should I do the second I get here, what do I actually do? So the first thing it talks about is the 12-week implementation program, which I'm going to come to in a second. That is where I would recommend that everybody starts. It doesn't matter if you've got a really big business already and you're just here for some fresh ideas, or whether you're brand new startup, never done a thing. Everybody needs to reflect and reset and go, doesn't matter where you are. If you want to move forward in a different way, you have to look at what's gone well before, what's not gone so well before, what you want to do more of, what you want to do less of, so that you can implement and make the right choices. So the start of the 12-week implementation program is the start of that. We do a launch call together as a group, as the intake. We do that launch call, and then we kind of set you off on your 12 weeks. So that's the first thing. The second thing is making sure that you've got the community bit, you're part of the group as well as part of the members area, and that you've got the link for the live trainings. So the link for the live trainings, the link is everywhere, but it's always the same link, and it's always on this front page as well. So you literally just hit that link. I won't press it now because it will knock you all out of Zoom. But on a Wednesday night, fortnightly, the next one, hold on, let me tell you the dates of this so that you've got them. So the next one is the 23rd of 23rd of February, 7 o'clock. And then the next one will be the 9th of March. And then the next one will be the 23rd of March. Basically, it runs fortnightly. And pretty much the rule is, unless I'm like dead or I'm on an aeroplane and like it's late and there's nothing I can physically do about it, I will be on that call. We did one on New Year's Eve, day before New Year's Eve, which was our New Year's one. We did one in between Christmas, because I fully understand that you guys don't stop just because it's like a weekend or whatever, right? So we do it fortnightly. If I ever can't make it, there's only ever been one that I've not made in 2.5 years. I will ask one of our mentors or our in-house experts to take the session. And on that session, when I couldn't make it, Chris Taylor, who's our in-house social media partner, one of my business partners, he took a social media session on that. So there'll never not be a training session. They are recorded. So if you can't be on it live, or you can't get on it till 7:15, or I don't know, you're running late or whatever, it will always be recorded. And then Zoe basically uploads all of the lives into the members area so that you can catch it up. And I'm going to show you where they're put in a second. So you'll always have access to the content. The thing about those fortnightly lives is that they are on Zoom like this, and you can request a specific hot seat session. Now, a hot seat is basically where you've got a particular thing that's going on. I don't know, it could be, Sarah, I'm looking at this deal and I don't know what to do about it. Or I've had an investor ask me this question and I don't know what to say. Or do you know what? I just feel a bit fucked off at the moment that I'm not progressing. What should I do? What's the next thing that I should do? Whatever it is, you come on and we'll just have a conversation about it. And we'll spend 10-15 minutes and we'll just run through what's happening, why it's happening. Be prepared for honesty from me. If you're coming on the call for me to give you a cuddle, it might not be I might not be the right place to come. If you want to come and get strategy and direction, then that's absolutely what I can give you. If you want to cuddle and you want to talk about more of the like the life stuff that's getting it on top of you, then that's Lisa's zone of genius. That's what Lisa is incredible at, and she's our in-house mindset mentor, and you can book a call with her through the Deal Clinic link, which I'll show you in a second as well. If you've got life stuff that's getting in the way of the business stuff, we understand fully as a team, and I understand this personally as well. If I'm not all right, everything in my business is never okay, is not all right. Like I let things slip. I'm not a great communicator if I'm not feeling good. Like things just don't work as seamlessly as you want them to. So not only am I your business strategist, Lisa's there to also support on the human side as well. And there's training in there from Emma Dika, who also is very much around working with the human being behind the business. So we look after both sides, but I will always want to give you the more strategic ways to get out of what the situation is that you're in. If you want to have like a more personal conversation that's not in a group session, then Lisa, you would book a call with Lisa on a one-to-one basis so that you've got that privacy to discuss that. On those calls, we also do training. So they're usually between an hour and 2 hours, depending on what's happening and depending how much help you guys need. For me, my Wednesday nights are written off for Strategy Hub. So there's never been a call that's less than an hour. there's never been a call that's longer than 2. So it usually lands between sort of an hour, hour and a half, that sort of time. And we will cover what the topic is that's inside of the 12-week plan. So if we're on, for example, or 12 module plan, sorry, 11 module plan, let's say we're on search and discovery as the topic, then I will do a training around that to support you to start with. And then we have Q&A around that topic so that everybody's getting what they need. The link to that can be found here on this landing page. So the deal clinic calls, I'm going to take you from top to bottom just so that it's easier for me to make sure I've not forgotten anything. Deal clinic calls. A deal clinic call is a one-to-one call with one of our mentors, and it's included in your membership. So you literally click the link, you pick the mentor that you want to have your call with. It explains what you need to submit it prior to the call being booked. You pick this, you pick your time, and then when you confirm it, it'll ask you, it'll show you how to submit your information for Jasim to look over it, or for the mentor to look over it in preparation for your call. If you do not send them any information, they will cancel the call because they can't prep. And my team are not going to do shit work. They're not just not going to do it. So turning up on a call unprepared is no use to you as our client. And they know my expectation on this is that we always give incredible service to our clients, but you have to give them the information they need to start with so that they can give you that service. And if they can't, then we won't do it. So there's a responsibility on you to make sure that you're sending them the information so that they can prep. But the way to do that is through here. When you book it, you submit the information the way it tells you on the screen. Just to run through who the mentors are and what they cover. So Jasim is our development and conversions mentor. There is also a course, like a mini course from him, and I'll show you that in a second. He does developments, new builds, commercial to resi conversions, anything that really requires like planning, permitted development, those sorts of things. That's his zone of genius. He's also a business partner of mine. I don't know if you guys know that, but my development company, my development company is with Jasim. So he is very much a part of my team, my life. He's a very good friend of mine. We work together. I trust him implicitly. He's a genius. So you're in safe hands with him. Our serviced accommodation in-house mentor and expert is David Williams. Again, a really good friend of mine. I've known him for a long time. He runs his own serviced accommodation units. He also has done like deal packaging and portfolio building of serviced accommodation businesses. He's a very clever businessman. So he's strategy, he's numbers, he is advertising, marketing. He's very good at that stuff. And what he specializes in is the service accommodation thing. He can do rent service accommodation purchases. He can do big blocks, little blocks, whatever you want to talk about. He's got experience in, and he will talk to you from a place of experience, as always. We've got Dan Lurie, who has been an ambassador. You guys know Dan. Well, you've seen him floating about this week and supporting me to deliver the challenge. Dan is our in-house refurbs expert. So Dan and Sean started work. They're obviously husband and wife. So they started working with me back in 2020. They have increased their portfolio. They had their first £10,000 month about 4 months after they started with the Strategy Hub. They've gone on to do amazing things. They have built their portfolio. They've got more units. They've raised a lot of money through investor finance as well. So any questions you've got around like refurb planning, refurb costing, structuring offers, that sort of thing, how to communicate with a build team, project management, deal analysis checking, all of that sort of stuff, that's Dan. So you would book with Dan, you hit on there, you pick a time and you book your call with Dan. Sean, I'll come to Sean next, Dan's wife. So Sean is, again, one of our mentors, but specializes in like reconfigurations and comparables and deal analysis and structuring. So what Sean's great at is being able to look at something that's there, but see something that could be there. And also the number crunching to be able to make that happen. So those of you that are looking to do a strategy, which is turn a 2-bed into a 3-bed to add value so you can offer more for it, Sean's your girl. And between Dan and Sean, they can really, really help you on the numbers of, like either of them could help you with that. So again, you book your slot, you book your appointment, it goes in their diary. And then rent-to-rent deal clinics as well. You can book and rent-to-rent deal clinics come to either myself or Sylvia on like a round robin basis, depending on which one of us is available. But again, you pick the slot and it will assign you either me or Sylvia. Sylvia's got a lot of experience with rent-to-rent HMO and also rent-to-rent SA. She now specialises in quite a niche SA, which is supported, no, it's not, it's accommodation, holiday accommodation for families with that are impacted by disability. However, her historic background has been rent-to-rent on HMOs, contractors, service accommodations, nightly stays, all of that sort of stuff as well. Sylvia built a very big rent-to-rent business in 12 months. I think, I can't remember, but I think it was something like 90 rooms, between 70 and 90 rooms in a 12-month period. Absolutely nailed it, really did very well. But has now like become, she's now moved, she's kind of fixed the immediate need and then is now specializing where she actually wants to be, which is buying, renovating and creating accommodation that's specialist, that serves a particular market. So she's evolved, but so what you see online from her now is all around that. But historically, she's gone through all the good, the bad and the ugly of rent to rent, like me, all of the problem tenant issues that you could have, all the eviction things that you have, courts being slow, all of that. We've both done that. And so anything around that as well, you can get answers to. And then the last one is Lisa Drew, who I've kind of mentioned to you. So Lisa has been a very good friend of mine for about 15 years. We've worked together. We actually worked in recruitment together back in the day. We've been friends and business partners, and we've done work together since then. Lisa is incredible at getting into your head and helping you to just unscribble your brain. I don't really know how best to say it. She does this for me on a personal level, but I know that she does this really well for all of our strategy hub clients as well. Sometimes you just can't see past the thing. Lisa's got an absolutely incredible way of being able to see past it for you and help you get back to the place that makes more sense. What Lisa's happy to talk to you about is more of the personal stuff. What she can't answer is questions about property, because she's not in property. It's not what she does. She doesn't have a buy to let, even like she actually doesn't have any interest in investing in property. But what she does is have an interest in investing in people. And so that's why she's in there. So if you ring Lisa and ask her to do numbers on a rent to rent, she can't help you. But if you want support and you need like nudging in a lovingly forceful enough way to get you moving, then that's Lisa's your girl. So that's the deal clinics part. Is there any questions on deal clinics before I move on? Let me come to the Facebook group as well. Hold on. My voice, I don't know if you can hear, my voice is definitely on its way out. Thank goodness I'm going to LA on Tuesday, right? Okay, let's have a little quick check. Has anyone that's on the Zoom got any calls, any questions about the calls? Okay, so no, Esther, there's no limits to how many you can book. The only limitation is that if you book one with Jassim, until the one with Jassim's happened, you can't book another one. So that you can't like book a call with everybody all at the same time and have like 6 calls in a week. That there's a fair use policy to it. We ask you to only ever book one at a time. If on that call, they're 20-minute slots. If on that call you need more support afterwards with a different mentor, or you need to dig deeper into the conversation that you've had, for example, we need to go away, get some information and come back to you. We'll arrange that with you personally. I know David Williams definitely like does this quite a lot. So he'll gather all of the information, he'll go away, crunch some numbers, and then he'll come back to you with your answer. And Jassim the same. So there's no limits to how many you can actually book, other in terms of like through the year. If you need one, just book one. That's what it's there for. But you can only book one at a time. And that's so that there's enough slots for the whole community to be able to have their slots when they need to. Ultimately, if you take a slot, it takes it away from somebody else. And so it's a little selfish, if that makes sense, to be able to just book one when you don't really need it or haven't really got anything to talk about. You're just booking it because you want the time. These are strategic calls around specific questions. They're not just general chat. So you'll know, like, when you go to fill in the information that you need to send, things like the link to the deal, a run through of the numbers that you've done so far in your head, as far as you've got it. And you might be like really early, you might just think, okay, well, I'm thinking that the GDV is going to be this and this is the purchase price, but I don't know how to work out build costs. Let's say that was the conversation. That's fine, but you'd submit what you've got. If you haven't got anything, you've not got a specific deal, then there's no deal clinic. In that circumstance, if it's just general conversation, you'd go to the Facebook group, post and tag me, and I'd just answer it for you. Or you'd come on a hot seat and you'd ask me and I'd answer it there instead. So there's no limits, and there's a place for a deal clinic, there's a place for a hot seat, and there's a place for the group as well. So across one of those, you'll be able to get your answers. If we had a deal we wanted to go over with someone, how would we do this? Lisa, book a deal clinic call. That is exactly what the deal clinic, that's why it's called a deal clinic. That's really what it's exactly for, to just double check that you know what you're confident. You remember we talked last night about having offer confidence. That's what it's for, to be able to give you that. GDV is gross development value. So GDV is what something's worth once it's being built or refurbished. So done up value, I know, is what a lot of people call it, for like a flip. But GDV, gross development value, what it will be worth at the point that you're either selling it or refinancing it. Sarah, I hope that answers your question. And yeah, to support the deal clinics in terms of community, I'll come to the Facebook group in a minute as well to talk you through how you get answers in there. So that's the deal clinic button. 12-week implementation program. So unit 1, let me just pick unit 1 for a second. It explains what you need to do at the top of each one. And then unit 1's got one video. And then all you do is you literally hit play. Hey, everybody, it's Sarah. How are you doing? So we don't need to play me for much longer because 2 lots of my voice is probably too much for everybody. And so unit 1, do unit 1. You've got a workbook that you click on it and it basically downloads it to your computer. So you can then open that up. And there's your workbook for unit 1. You fill it in. There'll be some similarities between this and the challenge one, but it's a lot deeper. And it talks you through. So module 1 is all about business planning, setup, goal setting, and strategy, like moving forwards. So the workbook reflects that. So you print that off and fill it in. And then every module has the same thing. So search and attract, which is the second stage that you need to take every deal through. Search and attract is actually going to market and looking for things. And this talks you through how to actually do that. And you'll see that there's a video. There's also live demos here for unsold auction lots, how to use the Gazette to find probate properties, how to use Gumtree, how to use, so this video here is how to do one-click mass marketing via Rightmove. You can select your criteria, and you can then find all agents that have got that stock in that area at that price, and you can send one message to all of them in one go. Not a lot of people know that you can do that, but you can do it inside of Rightmove. So there's a screen share of how to do that. And again, there's a workbook. You click that workbook downloads, and you can then work through the training, making notes. You've got that. So obviously it's an implementation program. It's not just training. So as you're doing each piece, we encourage you to then go and do the work. If you don't do the work, I can't help you. You have to do it. But everything I need you to do is outlined in these videos. It's really clear. And as you can see, we don't just talk about, you can go to Gazette and get probate deals. We then show you how to do it by recording the video. In this demonstration, guys, I'm going to show you how to use major caveat that jumps on and right awful, provided you apply 4 months in this particular
It literally shows you
so
where to click.
We can then update the results. And what that gives me is all of,
and like literally what to do, so you can just follow it through. And so everything that we kind of talk to you about, stop snoring, is we talk about it and we show you as well on top of that. So there's 12 modules to this. Oh, there's 11 modules over 12 weeks. Sorry, it's early. I've not finished my first coffee yet. 11 modules over 12 weeks. And the reason why we have 11 modules over 12 weeks is because making offers in the right way is a really big module. And this is all about offer packs, making sure that your numbers are right and making sure you represent your deals in the best way to get as many yeses as you can. There's also templates in here of how to offer, what the offer packs look like. We will do like an offer pack competition where there'll be a prize for the best offer pack over the first 12 weeks at some point. And that really does just then hold you accountable, make sure that you do the work, make sure it's done so that you can then start to get results. I know that the way that I offer far outweighs the way that most people offer, and it's why I get more yeses than most people. So I've taught you how I do that, and why we do that is all in there. We've got like training on negotiations, we've got training on deal promotion. So deal promotion is once you've got a deal, how do you then go and get an investor for it? Or if you've got a deal and you're going to be funding it with a lender, you still need to be able to get that lender excited about, like, have an appetite to lend on it. So you need to make sure that it's all right. That's all taught in there as well. How to engage and onboard investors. And this is all to do with like the process and the compliance and all of that sort of stuff. That's all in there. Property site visits, like what to do on a site visit and what to look at, what to ask, all of those sorts of things. Final negotiations, contracts, and the processes, maps, and everything that attaches to that. So that's all in the first 12 modules. And then to support this, you've got, in fact, first of all, has anyone got any questions about the implementation bit, first of all, before I move on? Is it true that an investor will not pay a sourcing fee for a deal found on Rightmove? No, that's not true at all. I've just paid a sourcing fee for a deal that was on Rightmove. So no, that's not true. No questions on that bit. Okay, cool. So downloads and resources. So this, I mean, this is actually, I think obviously the training is very valuable, but what you have to remember with contracts is that contracts will cost you money. They have to cost you money. You have to have them. It's not an optional. Education's optional. Contracts are not. If you don't have a contract, you've got no business, right? There's no control over any of it. So in just the contracts alone, which is this page, you can see that there is, I mean, there's loads here. I'm going to just talk you through what's in here already. We're also actually having some rebranded now, and they're being added. So there'll be extra ones in there by probably the end of March. Common law tenancy is a rent-to-rent contract, and it's a rent-to-rent contract that we had written for our rent-to-rent company for our for working with a letting agency, and there's also one for working directly with a landlord. They're two different contracts, two different things. You need to have both, and it needs to be right depending on which audience you're working with. So you get a copy of both of those. The letting agent one, this cost me £2,000 plus VAT just on its own. If you went to a solicitor and you said, draw me up a fit for purpose rent-to-rent contract, that's what they would charge you. These are obviously templates. These are the ones that I use. I am not a solicitor. I can't give legal advice or insurance around legals. So obviously bear that in mind. But what I can do is give you what I'm using for you to have checked by your solicitor. That is a much cheaper option than asking them to create from brand new. So you've got common law tenancies in here. You've got license to occupy, which is the agreement that you would give to a tenant moving into a room in a HMO on a contractor type basis. Oh, hold on, me gone funny. There we go. Management agreements. I actually don't recommend management agreements, and I explain that. But if you're running a letting agency and you want to manage on behalf of other people, I know there's some people in the Strategy Hub who are setting up like SA management companies and letting agencies. Management agreement is absolutely the right agreement for that sort of situation. So again, it depends on what we're doing, but that's in there. There's heads of terms for lease options. So if you are going to be somebody who's doing lease options, there's a contract in there for that. There is joint venture outline agreements, there's partnership agreements. So those of you who want to do business deals with other people, you need to, again, have things drawn up at the beginning. Those contracts are in there. And again, they're the JV agreements that I use. Sourcing agreement, for those of you doing deal packaging, you absolutely have to get, legally, you have to get your investor under terms before you start representing them. You need to have a contract for that, and that is what a sourcing agreement is. So we give you a copy of that. Again, that contract in and of itself was like £1,500 for me to have written by our solicitors. So just in the common law tenancy for rent to rent and the deal packaging contract, you more than save £3,000, which is the cost, obviously, for the whole year of all of this, plus all the mentorship and the support and everything. Just in those two contracts alone, you get your money back. You've got heads of terms for this. So there's different types of heads of terms. We've put them all in there. You will pick the one that's most relevant to you. Non-circumvention agreement. So that is where you're working with somebody. It's like an NDA, similar to an NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement. You need to have those sorts of things in this business, unfortunately, because not everybody is as squeaky clean as they would first say. So you need to make sure you're protected. They're all in there. There's also things like set up agreements for new businesses, resolution of the board for if you're making like board level decisions. There's all different things. And that, I mean, that's just one of the tabs of 6 that sit under the downloadables. If you're going to be a landlord, if you're going to run a HMO, you need to have a house manual. You need to write that. It takes time, takes effort. Well, we've just given you ours, so you can take it and you can just model it, get a VA to type you your one. It'll cost you 10 quid instead of costing you like hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Workflow processes, lettings and check-ins and things like that. So you literally download the file, you open it up, and it talks you through exactly the stages that you need to go through to move in a tenant on that particular one there. There's sample adverts to help you to write your adverts if you're not sure how to do it. There's new tenancy check-in, even down to like, I'm setting up a HMO. What should I buy? What do I need to do? Well, there's the furnishing list and everything in there that we do for ours. So you haven't even got to think about that. You just go to the list and go, right, Amazon, blah, 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 order, done. It's everything in here is just designed to make life quicker and easier for you. And just in the time you'll save on that, again, on those things, you'll get your money back before we've even helped you to do anything, just on these resources alone. Health and safety, again, you are responsible for people's lives when they live in your houses. You need to make sure you've done risk assessments. You need to make sure you've got method statements in place. You need to make sure you have a company health and safety policy. We've put the templates and stuff in here for you to be able to do that. So you haven't got to think about it. You haven't got to worry about it. You just literally download the file. You open it up. There it is. There's a sample in here of like what you actually need to look at. Most of you will be thinking, I don't even know how to do a risk assessment. What would I even do? So there's a sample in there of what you would do so that you can then use that to guide you moving forwards. So that's in there. Then marketing support. So again, you can see there's loads and loads of different ones on here. Things like offer packs, sample offer packs, prospecting letters, investor packs, messages to send out via Gumtree, like the exact text that we send. Chain break letters. Not everybody knows what a chain break letter is, so let me just run through that. If you are targeting chain breaks, and again, right now, chain breaks are a really good strategy to target because loads of people have over offered with the stamp duty and now they're all starting to fall out. So chain break, what we do is we send a letter at the beginning to say, congratulations on selling your house. Here's some recommended cleaners for the day that you move. And by the way, if anything happens with your purchase, we still really want to buy your house. So here's our details. And then you send another one about 4 weeks later with slightly different words, and then another one 4 weeks later. And what you end up doing is if the chain breaks, you are front of mind. You are who they come to say, our chain's broken and I need to sell. Can you help? It's a brilliant way of picking up like motivated vendors. So again, it's all in there. You just download it, rebrand it as your own, tweak the wording and the contact details, and it's there. We've got investor proposals in here, unsold auction letters, just literally the ones that I've sent, the words that I've used, the ones that have got me deals. And so it's in there for you to play around with. Everything that I do. And as we do new stuff, as we test new things, I add them in or I update them. So that's all there as well. Processes, again, there's a process for everything. onboarding new investors, for example, there's a process for that. There is a document here called, there's an app for that. So things like tracking your mileage, there's an app for that. Things like storage online, there's an app for that. Things like making sure that all of your digital signatures are done correctly, there's an app for that. And I just give you a big list of all of the tech that we use so that you can start to do that. There is information in here about like all of our power team contacts, so our accountants, our brokers, our insurance people, everybody that we use, so that you can, even down to, I think our printers are in there as well. There's a thing in here, business accounts for beginners. And again, there's a training on this as well, a video training, but there's also a document on this that just kind of helps guide you a little bit in terms of what are the things you need to think about at the beginning of starting a company? What are the things you need to have set up? So that's all in there. Sourcing and packaging mind map. If you are going to be doing deal packaging, there's a mind map here. And actually this is really small, so you have to like bring it up bigger on your screen. But if I just make that happen, you'll see that the first step is starting it. So you need to think, and again, you can just use this as a checklist of things to do. Compliance, register with HMRC, register with anti-money laundering, make sure you've got your insurance, choose and set up a CRM system, set up your Google Drive account, set up your web presence. It is basically just a fail-safe of things to do, exactly how to do it, and the names of the things that we use. So there's no space for error. You've got direction at every single turn. You've then also got sales and negotiations, which again is like one of my favorite topics to talk about. We talk a lot about this in terms of the live trainings as well, to just help you get over objections. I recommend you all read a book called Spin Selling. My formats for sales are very much grounded in the spin selling like structure. So if you haven't got that book, it's by a guy called Daniel Rackham. I would definitely recommend reading that, or ordering it at least, and making sure that you can kind of dip into it. But I would recommend you read it. And so basically in this, you've actually got a script. If I download this for a discovery call, all of the questions to ask once you're on a cold call, so that you don't go blank and forget to ask things. It's like a foolproof way of you making sure you've got all the information that you need. There's a flip sourcing call in here. There is questions around like rent to rent. There's every question that you can think of is in here to help you to be prepared for asking them and answering them. So that's all in there as well. And there's a copy of the terms and conditions that you can get access to. Obviously, that's the terms and conditions that you agree to when you join. There's a copy of that at all times if you ever want to look at anything. That's the downloadables and resources. Is there anything that you guys want me to answer on that? The content in that content section is immense. That's my own thoughts, as I've looked into one contract recently for myself, and that was around £500 alone. Yeah, exactly, Mark. Contracts, I can tell you, like I promised you all, I said to you all, ask yourself this question: do I think that working with Sarah and Kajito Wealth for a year can save me or put £3,000 back in my pocket? And I can tell you that even if you never turned up to a single training, we will save you £3,000 in purely the downloadable resources alone. It is money well spent if you just get that bit. Obviously, there's so much more than that. But even if what we're trying to do is cross-check in our minds and justify the price, because actually, are we going to have to spend that money on something else? You are going to have to spend money on contracts, regardless of where you spend it. So you may as well spend it, get it here, and also get all of the other things attached with it, because you have to have it. It's like a non-negotiable. Contracts are contracts. Okay, so there's no questions on that, which is fine. Okay, so Kajito Wealth coaches, let me come to that next. Each one of those each one of the mentors that I just introduced to you on the Deal Clinic calls have done a mini course of their own specialism. So Lisa has done hers. There's an introduction to who Lisa is. She's lovely. She's done a bit on imposter syndrome, a bit on authentic self, a bit on acknowledgement of success, mistakes being turned into an opportunity, and the comparison trap, toxic influences, because actually these are the key things that we as a community know that we struggle with and most of our community struggle with. So it's in there, study that, and Lisa can obviously help you with all of those things as well. There's a refurbs mini course from Dan and Sean. Again, is the property the right property? How to prepare for a viewing, carrying out the viewing, costing the refurb, putting your offers in. That's in there for you to learn and go away and implement. There's a serviced accommodation course in here from David Williams on channel managers, CRMs, marketing, online travel agents, pricing software, all the things that you need to understand to be able to do SA. All the things that you're thinking, I don't even know what a channel manager is. How do I need it? Why do I need it? What is it even? Well, we've answered all of those questions for you. And again, very implementation led. This is what you need to actually physically go and do. Then there's a rent to rent masterclass in here from me, which is me live sourcing a rent to rent deal online and taking it through the numbers, the negotiation, the way to get the offer price dropped, or the asking price drop, sorry, using my own calculators, which are the calculators that you also get in the strategy hub, so that you can use our tools that we use when I'm on the phone to any rent to rent person lead. This is the process we take you through. So that's in there. And it's, again, it's a screen share. So it's a demo of how to do stuff, not just talk about the fact that you need to do stuff. You've also got then a rent to rent with Sylvia as well, because Sylvia and I do rent to rent differently. And so actually in a different space. So she's in here and talks about how to find them, common mistakes, and like choosing the right rent to rent model for you in your area and also in your life. And then there's developments as well with Jasim. So site finding, due diligence, BPIM, negotiation strategies, SHLA. And again, SHLA is such a top tip that most people don't even know about when finding sites. And this is to do with using the publicly available data to find sites that are already for sale, that are not publicly on the market. Really, really good content in here. So there's a course in there on each one of those pieces around developments as well from Jasim. So that's all the core, content from the mentors. Then we've also got the content from our guests. So there's at least 12 guests a year. For 2022, we've got, I think, more than 12 booked already. So there'll be at least 12. There's one a month. There's John Corey, how to actually use finance from investors, or to raise money the right way, compliantly. There's one in here on Instagram Reels and how to use Instagram Reels to increase your marketing reach for your business. A session in here from Emma. There's a session in here from Adil Amasi, who's one of the best copywriters on the planet. He is a very, very successful copywriter. He's written copy for some of the biggest companies in the world. There's a session in here on, and when I say write copy, I'm talking about writing your captions on your posts online. I'm talking about you writing your website so that it comes up better in Google when they search. I'm talking about words that need to be written in your business. There's this training on there about how to do that. There's another training here about how to source serviced accommodation deals from David Williams. There's a session in here about how to actually recruit a VA and how to then manage them in the best way so that you are able to increase your team without it costing you an absolute fortune or it being a disaster. There's some sample videos of old material that I've done to raise money and stuff like that. There's a social media training here from Chris Taylor, which is all about Instagram. He's going to be doing another one on LinkedIn soon as well. Another session from M. And we've got a session here from Karen, who is our one of our in-house letting specialists. She runs a letting agency, has done for about 20 years. Exceptional letting agent. And she did a guest talk on lettings and some of the things to be aware of if you're doing rent to rent or you've got buy to lets, that sort of stuff. That's all in there. Rent to own. I know a lot of you are really interested in kind of the rent to own lease option idea, but I've got no idea where to start, like tenant buyers, that sort of thing. So there's a training in there from JP. JP is one of my mentors, taught me everything I know about rent to own. So he's done a session. He's also booked to do another session this year. And then there's some other, again, these are all just people that I've learned a lot from. And so we brought them into the Strategy Hub to teach you guys as well. Compliance with Tina Welsh. Anyone who's planning to do deal packaging will know that they need to be compliant. There's 2 training sessions in there from Tina Welsh in detail about that. And again, Tina's booked later in the year to come back and do an update as well. There's an imposter syndrome workshop. There's developments with Richard Little. There's strategic marketing with David Williams. There is business startup tax expenses with my accountant. So those of you that are right now thinking, I need to start a company, but I don't really know what that means. I don't know how to pay myself. I don't know what I can expense and what I can't. I don't know if I need a particular type of bank account. I don't know if I even need a bookkeeper or an accountant. I don't know, because I've never done it before. Well, business now for me is normal. Like, I can set up a company. It takes £14 on Company's House to set up a company, right? But when I first started, I paid £400 for somebody to set me up my first company, because I didn't know what I didn't know. I now know it costs £14. So I would never do that again, but I got stung the first time. And so it's important that we help you not get stung with stuff. And so there's a session in here from my actual accountant telling you exactly like how to treat your shares, what to do if you've got a business partner, what technology to use, like all of these sorts of things about tax that you need to be aware of. That's in there as well. There's a planning session from one of our planning consultants in Walmsley about the updates to the planning system that happened last year. There's a sourcing session with Susanna Cole, who's one of my, like a really good friend of mine. And the list just goes on and on and on, right? One of the things that you guys will be thinking is, oh my God, there's so much stuff here, I'm never going to have the time, right? What I want you to understand is that these sessions are not all like day-long sessions. They all can be fitted in. They're all around kind of 30 to 45 minutes, maybe an hour, some of them. And a lot of them are not slides. So they're like this, where you can just put them in your ears while you're walking the dog, or you can put them on in the car on Bluetooth while you're driving to work. The reason why we've done it like that is because I know that life's busy. And actually for me, if I have to sit down and watch slides, I struggle to find the time. And I think most people have that. And actually you want to listen to it, you can just listen to it. And then you can say, oh, well, actually, I want to go back to that bit. And you can then just skip to the bit you want to sit down and write notes over. So you will find the time. And the feedback we have from the clients is that because it's like that, they do find the time to fit it in when they're walking the dog, when they've got it in their earphones while they're doing the washing or the ironing, or, the day you're cleaning the house, they put it on the Alexa and it plays out. And, they've just got our dulcet tones running around the house while they're running around the house doing their thing. Whatever it is that your lifestyle is, this works because it is study at your own pace. That's what it's been designed to do. You've then got a back catalogue of training from me. So the little black book is none of those are me. Danny and Katie, I think Katie's on here. The reason you're there, Kate, is because you were obviously the first person that popped up on Zoom that night, and that's the starting screen. So that's why you're there. But these trainings are all trainings that are like the live ones that I've done, and you'll see them in there. They're all added as they happen. And then you've got the financial analysis calculators. Again, you open it up, you hit the button, it downloads it to your computer. You've got the sheet there to be able to work through. You can see buy to let, rent to rent, service accommodation, flips. And then Jasim's done in his session, he's done like the site finding analysis for developments and commercial to resi over there. You've also got Sourcing Made Simple, like for those of you that came in before 8 p.m. yesterday, you had a bonus, which was the Sourcing Made Simple live. This is here. And the other bits and pieces. There's a reading list in here as well, which is like a book list of all the books that I've read or am in the middle of reading. And then there's the demo suite. And this is kind of the last really important thing to see. This is the demos of me actually on the websites doing the work, again, showing you how to do stuff. And the reason I can show you how to do these things is because I don't just talk about this stuff in theory. It's what I actually do. It's how I spend my time. It is my actual job. I spend a lot of time obviously with the Strategy Hub, but the Strategy Hub is not my primary income. The Cogito Wealth is not my primary in like the way that I earn my money. I earn my money from property. I earn my money from building a portfolio. I earn my money from finding deals and selling them on. That is my actual job, same as it is for all of you guys. So I'm able to show you this stuff because I'm doing it all of the time. So we've screen recorded me doing it. And I know actually the auction house one, as an example, this red one here, their website's changed. So I've got it in my schedule to re-record this video because actually the buttons have moved. So when you do this right now, you'll be like, oh, hold on, that button's there, not there. So I'm re-recording it. We'll add the new one in. So again, I know this because I'm doing it every day and I'm like, oh, okay, that's changed. I need to redo that. And we'll just update it as we go. So there's also an advert here, a video here about how to post an advert for a VA on Upwork. Some of you have talked about VAs and you think about, you want one, but no one's ever shown you actually how to get one. And so we've done that. How to post ads on Gumtree for properties, how to actually build a website for free. You don't have to spend loads of money on websites if you don't want to. Everybody that joins the Strategy Hub, you're going to get your sales and marketing funnel built for you by us anyway. But if you want to have a static website as well to complement that, which some people do, then we show you how to do that for free. So it doesn't have to cost you anything. It doesn't have to cost you a penny to have a website. And this is something that most people won't tell you. They'll say, oh, you need to pay a web designer. Well, you don't. And so there is a screen recording of exactly what to press, how to press it, so that you can get a free website until you've got the budgets to be able to have a paid for website. You'll want a paid for one eventually, but at the beginning, don't spend money where you don't have to. So I've probably just saved you 1,500 quid in that piece of information and that video alone as well. Then there's how to set up your company Facebook page, how to send out a direct marketing. If you decide you wanted to do letters, for example, and to the HMO list, well, how do you actually do that without sitting and hand printing and hand writing them all? Well, you can do that with a tool like DocMail. And again, some people are like, well, that's fine, but what do I actually do? So I've screen recorded me sending out a campaign via DocMail, how to upload things, what to pay for things, what to select, how to select it, how to enter all the information, how to actually send it so that it goes. So we've screen recorded that as well. How to use Gumtree for rent to rent, how to find probate deals, everything that we do is all in there. Then there's the most recent challenge. So this challenge that we've just done, we will put those recordings in there as well. And that's the members area. So has anyone got any questions about the members area before I show you the Facebook group? I appreciate your brains are probably like, what the fuck? There's so much stuff here. Or it'll be, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't find this sooner. One of those things will be happening. And I'm happy to answer any questions on this. Yes, Lena, when you go on the website, the link, I can get one of my ambassadors, if you can put the link to the join-in Strategy Hub join up link in the comments. When you go on that page, you can pay on card there. Yeah, absolutely. Sarah, do you need to pay for hosting? No, so you can buy your domain and you can forward the, basically the way that it shows you is to do it through Wix. And actually, because of the free version, it can host for you. So you don't even need to pay for that now. Yeah, so Katie's put that link up. So when you go on that link, Lena, that will take you through to the sign up page. And on that, you can pay on card. So yeah. Okay, so let me show you the also Sarah, just to come back to your question about hosting, with your sales funnel page, that is basically a website, and you won't need to pay for that to be hosted either, because we do it in a free tool for you called and then integrate it with whatever CRM you're using. So if you use like the Cogito CRM, we'll integrate it to that. But if you decide you've got a different CRM that you want to use, then, I mean, obviously I'd recommend the Cogito one, but we will integrate it, but you don't pay for the hosting because the actual landing page for your funnel is built into a free tool. So you don't pay for that either. So you really don't need to be paying a lot of money for, because you get the funnel. And again, the funnel, if you were having it built, my digital agency that builds them, if we're building them for non-clients, we charge £1,500 to do it. And so there is all of that stuff with it. But because we do this as part of your Strategy Hub, you won't have to pay for that bit because it's actually in the package already. Does that make sense?
It does. And I was just about to ask you that.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that, again, in just the sales funnel alone, we save you £1,500 because you need to have it. Everybody needs to have it. If you're going to have a robust enough business, the business that you want and you dream of, you can't do that if you've not got like a way of clients finding you online. And so, yeah, the sales funnel piece, what we actually build, my same sales agent, my same digital agency would charge an external client about £1,500 for what we build you. So we just do that for you as a client.
So do we get contacted separately outside of this to go through all of that?
Yeah,
Like
so
an
what will
onboarding
happen?
call or something?
Yeah, exactly that. So there's an onboarding call for the people that select the CRM, and there's an onboarding call for the people for the funnels. Don't worry about it all today because your heads will blow up. Basically so don't let your heads wobble off their shoulders. Those of you that are have already joined, we will make sure that there's a communication for the CRM, and there's a communication for the funnel, and there's a communication around launch call for the hub as well. So yeah, don't worry about that. Each team will be in touch with you to be able to do their bit at the right time. It probably won't be in the first couple of weeks because you'll be concentrating on this bit first, which is all the initial implementation, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, you'll be asked with the sales funnel, you'll be asked to download our Cogito Digital app, which is it's in the App Store, Cogito Digital, and that is actually everything's done on that. So you submit all your information on there, our team take that, our team build it. So you just literally need to be able to use your app on your smartphone, and everything's taken care of there.
Okay, I do have a deal that's currently going through. I'm at the stage where I need to present it to the investor.
So jump into the members area, have a look at the investor packs, model that, and also if you want to book a deal clinic call, go and book a deal clinic call, and you can talk it through because you're already a member. You've just joined yesterday, right? So you should have had your link, your access. You should be able to get in there and see that yellow button, pick one and go and book a call.
Fantastic.
Right, let me show you guys the Facebook group now. Hold on, let me get that up where I need it to be. Let me close down all these millions of tabs that I've now opened. Hold on. La, 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 la. Okay. Now, what you will see when you go into the strategy hub will be slightly different to me because obviously I have admin position on it, whereas you do not. So some of the buttons will be slightly different, but not very different. The main things I want to show you is I just want to kind of reassure people about the way that this group functions. So first of all, the most important thing that you can see is exactly how many people are in here. I know that you guys will have heard this at some point where they say, it's a really intimate environment. And then you turn up and there's 9,000 people in the room and you're like, well, hold on. How is that intimate? Intimate compared to what? Wembley Stadium. So there's 281 people in here. There's 281 clients. This is what it will look like. You obviously won't have my admin bar. You'll have this look. There's a few things that are quite important details. So the first one is the featured posts. In the same way as it has been in the challenge, featured posts are where my posts go. Things that I need to tell you about, my accountability check-ins for you, things that Zoe needs to tell you about, they all go into the featured posts. If we're releasing new content, if we're asking you a question, if there's, I don't know, we've booked a new something, we need to communicate with the group, that's where it will go into featured. Again, let me get rid of this. I'm trying to do it so that you see it as you will actually see it as best I can. There's also like key topics. So again, hashtag question. From the challenge, you guys will know how this hashtag question thing works. And you'll have seen the way you get responses. That's because when you use hashtag question, it gives us an actual notification for us to do something. You'll see there's 2,000 posts in here. And that's 2,000 questions that have been asked that we've answered. There's 1,100 hashtag win posts. That's posts of people that have posted something that they feel has been a breakthrough, an offer accepted, money raised, deal done, new keys, just feeling good in general. 1,100 of those. And again, this has only been running since like last year. This has not been running for 10, 15 years. It's an active group and we get the results. So there's also along the top here, you can see all the members of the group. If you're in here, you'll be able to look at the list. This is also another very important tab, and Zoe will be the one that kind of tells you to look at the events tab more often than I do, because Zoe's our in-house community manager and Tracy's our office-based customer experience coordinator. So between Zoe and Tracy, you've actually got two of my team, like my actual internal team, looking after you guys, plus you've got the mentors and also me and our in-house experts. Zoe will be the person that will answer the questions around where's the links, who have we got speaking, I can't find XYZ, where should I look, etc. She will always push you to the events tab because everything's in the events tab, and you'll see, so Wednesday night live training with me at 7 o'clock, it's there. So if you ever want to know like when the next one is or what's coming up, you can go in here and have a look at it. You can also see in here like the future events that we've got coming up. We've got stamp duty land tax with my accountants, which is all about how you can get your money back on stamp duty. If you've paid stamp on an uninhabitable home, you can get your money back. So it's how we're showing you how to do that. There's a session from TrustMix with Jonathan Heavens. TrustMix is a new platform which is for property people, which will help you to do due diligence on investors and business partners and things like that. He's coming to do a demo on that. There is a talk in here from a commercial solicitor who specializes in like corporate and commercial legals. She's coming in to do a talk about that. And then there's we've got one in April with Dan, all about refurbs. You'll also see all of our historic past events. So when I say to you, we bring experts in to talk about the things that you need to learn, you'll see there's loads and loads and loads of things, and all of these are recorded and all in the members area. So if you've missed them, that's fine. A lot of them may come back anyway because the rules update, but the events tab is where you'll find all of that information. Media and files, we don't really use that because we generally use the members area for all our media and files. But if you guys want to upload like an investor pack example and you want feedback from the community or from us, this is where you would put it. You wouldn't email the office, you would put the file in here and then we can give you feedback on it. So the Facebook group is where you want to show us something. This is where you put it. The members area, when we want to show you something, that's where we put it. So you'll see in here, like if I go to the hashtag questions, hold on, let's see if I can do it like this. There's all different questions from all different people, right across all different topics, everything. But you'll see like there is responses to every single one. Everything gets responded to. Sometimes it will be a response from a coach, like one of the mentors will respond, so I don't need to because it's been answered. Sometimes it will be me, sometimes it might be the people in the community, and actually if it's been answered, it's been answered. But you'll see there's nothing in here that's left unanswered. It's not what we do here. We actually want you to be moving forwards. So that's what we do. We move you forwards. And then if I go to hashtag wins, there's over 1,000 of these. And if you look, this is people raising money, doing deals, having offers accepted. Derek's had a very good month, which is why he's at the top, loads. There is 150 grand, first direct to vendor deal. There is investor meetings booked. If I just scroll, do a bit of a scroll here. 2 direct landlords agreed, 9-bed HMO agreed, £10,000 agreed. Our community does deals. We do the work, we get results. Kajito is community, Kajito is mentorship, it's accountability, it's implementation, it's everything I've said that it is. This community inside of the Facebook group, and we will also have the complementing app in Q2 of the year. We're having it built at the moment, and the app will basically be a Facebook, as you know, Facebook only shows you certain stuff that Facebook chooses to show you based on an algorithm, whereas the app will be able to communicate a little bit better as a business with you because it will show you everything that we need to tell you about. So no one will ever miss anything. You will always make sure that you've got all the right everythings at the right time. So Zoe is in the middle of building the app with our development team at the moment. So that will be available for you free, no extra charges or anything. We're going to put that in. And so you'll have a combination of the Facebook group and the app as well by the end of Q2. Any questions about the Facebook group and how it works? Any comments on the Facebook group? I know there's probably people that are in the Strategy Hub in the comments will probably just tell you that the Facebook group's the best place ever. Yeah, so Mark, you can bolt on the CRM. We don't force the CRM. We do force the funnel because you have to have it. But some people have already got their own CRMs that they're used to, and I don't want to change people's. I don't want to create work where we don't need to. So if you want to bolt in the CRM, you absolutely can. At the point you're on the joining page, there's a button. You literally tick it to say, "Yep, add in the CRM system," and we'll take care of all of that for you as well. Right. Any questions anyone wants to ask me? What's my take on TrustMix? Well, Mark, as the #1 trusted investor on TrustMix, I personally can tell you that I think it's great. I've got the highest score on TrustMix at this point in time. If you look me up, well, the last time I looked at it anyway, based on my referrals, my recommendations, my levels of compliance, and the trust that the property world has in me as a property professional, I'm rated the highest person on TrustMix. So I love it. I think it's great. That being said, I also really like Jonathan. I find him fascinatingly ethical. And I also find the way that he's created the business and why he's done it really, really interesting. So that's why we've invited him in. Sarah, yeah, you can add the CRM retrospectively, so don't worry about that. If you just email the office at learn@cogito-wealth.co.uk, and just say, I've just joined, but I want the CRM as well, we'll hook you up. We'll make that a thing. We'll just send you the link and you can join it. That's absolutely fine. Any other questions? Let me see if I can come to the Facebook group and see if there's any questions. Sean, the Facebook group is the best place ever. Okay. So yeah, a couple of people just asking around the pricing for the Strategy Hub. So the Strategy Hub is £250 a month, including VAT, and that includes everything that I've just shown you today. The only thing that's not including that is the CRM. If you want to bolt in the CRM, it's £29.99 a month, and there's no contract to the £29.99 a month. You can, if you don't like it, you don't have to continue using it. With the Strategy Hub, you are committed for a year. And the reason you're committed for a year, let me explain, is because I can't get you results in 4 weeks. I can't make change, lasting change in 6 weeks. I can't do that. I'm not a miracle worker. Can I get you 3 grand and more back in your bank in 12 months? Fuck yes, I can. That's it. I know that I can do that. In the sales funnel and the contracts alone, I'm putting 3 grand, if not more, back in your bank, back pocket. When you do your first deal, it will be worth more than 3 grand. To put this into perspective, Colette's first deal, her first invoice was £26,000, 1 rent-to-rent contract, 1 deal. Just because we structured it in, like, we talked it through and we structured it in a slightly different way. Instead of looking at like the £200 a month, she got 26 grand in 1 invoice. That's what I do differently. It's strategic, and it's because it's the way that I actually run my business all day, every day. It's what I do. And so even down to things like teaching you how to get rent-free for 3 months when you take a rent-to-rent on. Well, if you can get rent-free and you can make money for that first 3 months, well, that's, you'll make 3 grand. That in itself, I can teach you all of these things. I know with absolute certainty for sure that if you listen and you implement what we teach you, that you will get your money back and some. There is no way that you can't. So, yeah, the contracts are worth way more than what and the community is just out of this world. And again, I know I'd say that because it's my community, but truly I've got friends now from this community. They are clients, obviously, but I have built friendships and I care deeply about the success of all of you. You put your faith and your trust and your hard-earned money into working with me. I promise you, I'm going to show up for you, and I'm going to absolutely make sure that you are getting what you need so that you don't waste any more money or time, and you actually start to get the results that you want. So any other questions on any of this? Hold on, let me come here. So all you guys saying amazing value, loving it. This is amazing. I look forward to seeing you in the Strategy Hub then, I hope. That's the decision, isn't it? It's the point that you actually have to sometimes just suck it up and say, I've got to make a decision. I'm in. Let's do it. And the community, this challenge, obviously, we're going to do your launch calls next week. So I want you all to come in together because you've also created friendships and you've started to see each other's results. And this is like the start of what the relationships will be for the rest of this year. So come in now. Yeah, there will be another intake at some point. I'm not going to lie to you and say there won't. And this is like pressure sell you. There will be at some point. I just don't know when that will be. And why not join with the people that are coming on the same journey as you through the same challenge week so that you've all had the same information. We can get you going in the same way. If there's no other questions, I'm going to leave you guys to it. I've got to go and pack for LA because I don't know if I mentioned it, but I'm flying to LA on Tuesday. I'm very excited about it. I am working, just for the record. I am going to a conference, but I definitely am excited about a little bit of sunshine. This is my third paid for mentoring training, not the other one, not the other, give you a 10th of what's included in the hub, and you certainly don't get access to someone. That's lovely. Thank you, Sarah. For me, the Strategy Hub is everything I would have wanted at the beginning of my journey that I didn't have. And I know that it sucks that a lot of you have spent money in different places. And I really hope that you will join, you'll see what it's about. And then you guys will become ambassadors like my ambassadors, and you'll promote us, because and again, I'm not great at yet, is getting in front of you guys before the bigger companies. I need to be able to tell the world about Cogito. And actually, I believe we get paid as a consequence of doing a good job. So when I do a good job for you, you'll tell other people about us and we will grow. And that will be the way that I get to impact this industry in a really positive way. So I'll catch you later. Lena, we can probably get a demo of the CRM system. Yeah. I would need some time to sort that out though. And I wouldn't be able to sort that out before Wednesday, which is when the cutoff for this intake is. But with the CRM system, there's no contract to it. So if you join the Strategy Hub, opt in for the CRM, so you've got it. If you go in and actually you say, do you know what, I hate it, then you won't pay a second payment. So I can say that to you, that there is no, whilst the Strategy Hub it is a year's commitment. The CRM system, if you really don't get on with it, you can just switch it off. So there's no, like, we're not holding you into that. So I would say do that. And then we're going to do like a whole training session around the CRM system with the development team. It's not even me that does it. The development team that have built it with us will show you how to use it, when to use it, what to put in it, what not to put in it. All the deal analysis calculators that I talked about last night, they're already in the CRM. So you literally plug in the numbers, press the button, and it tells you what to offer. And you can then populate your offer packs and stuff from the CRM. It's brilliant. So I think you will get on with it. So I would say join, select the CRM, and then if for whatever reason you really don't get on with it, then we can just switch it off for you. That's fine. Yeah, right, I'm out. It's lovely. This is actually like the official end of the challenge this morning, because we don't really do anything else together. So those of you that have hung out with me this morning, it's been massively enjoyable for me. I've got to show you the thing that I'm super passionate about. I can't wait to see loads of you in the Strategy Hub. I'm really excited to spend the next year with the people that are already in, and those of you that are going to be joining. It means a lot to me that you've put your faith and trust in me, and I am very excited to see what we can do together. So have an amazing Saturday, have an amazing weekend. Congratulate yourselves on a job well done this week. You've all worked really, really hard. Keep up the momentum, keep doing the work, keep showing up, and that is what will make the difference. That is what will change everything. Just keep showing up, use us for support, and massive love. See ya.